All right, in this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and why I'm here teaching you about AI for productivity. So my name is Aaron and I'm from Sydney in Australia originally, though obviously I am of Asian descent. And way back in school, I studied something called information systems. I then spent some time in the corporate world and I escaped for entrepreneurship and I never looked back after that. So in case you're wondering what information systems is, it is a degree where you learn how to apply technology to businesses to increase efficiency in people, systems, and processes. So basically, it is the closest thing you can have to a formal degree in productivity. And outside of formal education, I've always been an avid reader because I believe that if you want to learn something, you should just go ahead and learn it. You don't really need anyone's permission to go ahead and do that. Now, very early on in my life, I was obsessed with not only making myself more productive in my personal life, but also making companies, businesses, teams, and other people more productive as well. And in all the work roles that I've ever had, I've always been either the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, or in some kind of systems role. And these things have included running my own performance marketing agency in San Francisco. I also founded a world-class productivity company called Agent Efficiency, which I subsequently sold. And I've also run a multi-million-dollar real-world brick-and-mortar migration agency where we had 40 people across 4 different offices in 2 different time zones. And more recently, I work as a fractional COO, so I consult other businesses on business productivity, systems, and operations. I also write about and teach productivity on my personal site, and you can see the last video for the link to that. And I've been teaching productivity to people for about 20 plus years now. And more than that, I actually live it every single day. So everything I talk about in this course or in any of my other courses, I use myself personally, and I help my consulting clients implement in their companies as well. So things like rituals, Pomodoros, Inbox Zero, to me, these are not theoretical concepts. They are things that I actually do every single day and that I recommend other people do as well. So everything you're going to learn in this course is practical and battle tested. It is not theoretical in any way whatsoever. Now, when it comes to generative AI and LLM, large language models, which is what the current generation of AI is, I will admit that at first I was quite skeptical when the first models came out. And that's because AI as we have it now is not the AI that you see in the movies, right? And early on, I really could not see the practical business or even personal application of using AI. All I really saw was cool tech demos on Twitter, and that's just how it was for the early days. But what really changed was when ChatGPT 3.5 was released and when Claude Opus was released. This was around the time that AI started having actual real-world benefits for the average person. And so around that time, I basically dove headfirst into AI. And it's been a very rapid cycle of learning, testing, deploying all the techniques you're about to learn for myself and for my clients and our website readers. And now I'm bringing it to you guys, my students, on this course as well. So right now, there are absolutely massive benefits for the average person in using AI. And so it's exactly the right time to make this introductory course. Okay, some random fun things about me you may not know. I am an INTJ, or an architect. If you're not familiar with Myers-Briggs, these are the people who like to disassemble things and then try to put them back together again, but better, right? It means that we played as Lego as kids, we probably disassembled computers during high school, and now for me at least, I do the same thing with people's, companies, systems, and processes. I have actually lived all over the world, Australia obviously. I spent quite a bit of time in the US and in London and Singapore, and finally decided to settle in Bangkok in Thailand because we have good food, good weather, and let's say pretty beaches. And I'm also a total morning person, so you're going to find me up at 5 a.m. even on the weekends. Okay, to wrap up this introduction, I want to give you a quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. And the quote goes, "Make the best of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." So what he is talking about is the Stoic concept of the dichotomy or the trichotomy, if you like, of control. And it says that there are 3 types of things that happen in the world. There are things that we control, things that we can't control, and things that we can somewhat control. So things we control are things like what we're going to eat for dinner tonight. Things that we can't control are, say, the outcome of an election. Or things that we can somewhat control would be like, our drive to work. So we can control our car and our route. We can't control what other drivers are going to do or what the traffic situation is going to be like. So I want you to think about this trichotomy of control in the context of generative AI. Now, a lot of people are worried that, AI is going to take over their jobs, AI is going to make the industry obsolete, or AI is going to become Skynet and create Terminators and take over the world, right? Now, this is probably not going to happen, but think about it in terms of this trichotomy of control. Things we can control. So what we control is how we use AI right here, right now, as a tool to make our daily lives more productive. And that's what this entire course is about. Things we can't control. We can't control how AI is going to develop in the future, whether it's going to become sentient. We cannot control what kind of industries it will change. For example, everybody thought that the first industries that would fall prey, if you like, to AI would be the number industries. It would be bankers, accountants, data-heavy industries. But as it turns out, the first industries to get hit were all the creative ones like writing and graphic design. Things we can somewhat control about AI is the output that AI gives us. And that's what this course is going to teach you how to do, how to coax better output out of AI by controlling or somewhat controlling the input we give it, right? And it's something we won't know until we type in the prompt and hit enter. And then again, we can only control the output somewhat. And sometimes we just have to open a new chat window and start all over again. Okay, one final thing before we get into the fundamentals. If you want to connect with me, here is my LinkedIn on the screen. I will accept all connection requests from students, of course, and I will see you in the next lesson.